I asked my friends and co-workers from a scale from 1 to 10, how much of a pessimist am I? Well, no one said 10, but no one said any number under 10 either. Number-wise, the response that I've gotten varies from 11 to 100. Might not seem like this here on YouTube, but trust me, I am the most pessimistic person that I've ever known. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel that no one really knows about. Is this intro actually fun or is it pessimistic? Fun fact, the reason why I actually started saying this is because I never really actually believed in this YouTube channel. Like, I never believed it would grow. So as you might have guessed from the title already, today we're talking about pessimism and optimism and the duality of them and the struggles with them. Optimism and pessimism Optimism and pessimism have been two things that I've struggled a lot in like the past 6 to even 7 years of my life, but I feel like in the past 4 years the pessimism in me has just like completely took over, and I've reached that point where I am actually the one that's fed up with my pessimism. I'm willing to change, and I also know it's not going to be easy because it's never easy trying to change the way that your mind works and the way that you're used to function. But I strongly believe that patience pays off when it comes to mental health and, you know, improving yourself and becoming the best version of yourself. Since it's so hard right now for so many people to actually see a spark of light in this, you know, just in this whole madness that's going on around us, I'm here to share everything I know about optimism and pessimism and why it happens, how it functions, and also how I plan to change, because I feel like some people might actually find all those informations helpful nowadays. I still have my pajama pants on. So optimism and pessimism are two mindsets that everyone is really familiar with. In a simplified definition, they describe the way that you perceive the world around you. You expect good things, you're an optimist. You expect bad things, you're a pessimist. That's pretty much what everyone already knows. Now, in psychology, they're actually described as being explanatory styles. And there's also a third one, which is being a realist. So whenever people joke and they're like, oh no, I'm not a pessimist, or oh no, I'm not an optimist, I'm a realist, that's actually true, because being a realist is actually kind of a gray area in between. The reason why all of those are called explanatory styles is because they impact the way that we react and explain situations to ourselves when they happen. So let's say, for example, if I were an optimist and I would drop my coffee on the floor right now, I would be like, oh, I dropped my coffee, it's fine, I'll just bring them up, clean this up real quick, make another coffee, and in 5 minutes, maximum 10 minutes, I'm good to go and I can just proceed with my day. A pessimist, however, would basically kind of start spiraling, as in, oh, there goes my coffee again, I'm gonna be late at work, I'm gonna lose my job, I still need to make this coffee, this day is just awful and I'm so sick of it and I'm so sick of life. Now, most people deep inside, they know whether they're an optimist or a pessimist. You will have some periods in life where everything is going to seem hopeless and sad, and then some other times when it's just like periods where everything is just full of hope and exciting and everything's just full of joy. So how do you actually tell whether you're a pessimist or an optimist? So a lot of scientists believe that it's not only about how we perceive the present and the future, and especially the future, but it's also about how we perceive the past and what memories we actually store. You see, while an optimist will be moved by happy and good events, a pessimist will be moved by bad news and traumatic events. As the years go by in our lives, the things that moved us the most are the things that we remember most clearly. So go back to like when you were a kid, maybe like 8 years or 10 years, and try to acknowledge what are the memories that come the easiest to you. Like, don't try to find the earliest memory you have, because you're actually forcing your brain into finding memories, but actually try to see what are the memories that come really easily to you and whether they're negative or positive. When I stumbled upon this information like 2 years ago or something like that, it's when I actually realized that at root, I am a pessimist because most of the memories that I have as a kid, they're actually negative, like the absence of a father and having financial difficulties, being bullied at school. I do have a lot of good memories as well, but if I have to find good memories, I actually have to struggle and like really sit for a while and think until I can actually remember some of those good memories. In the following months, I also started thinking more about what I actually recall and what stories I actually tell the most. Like, let's say we are out with some friends and everyone's telling stories, and most of the stories are actually funny, and the feedback that people are getting is, you know, laughs or more funny stories. And I realized at some point that the feedback that I am getting when I'm telling stories at a table of people is just discussions, debates, and sometimes just, oh, that is so bad, or that is so awful, or like, oh, that's so sad, I had no idea. But not really laughs, because most of the stories that I tell are negative. And I tell them because all those negative stories are actually things that marked me. Like no one is sitting at a table with friends and telling stories that they find boring. Everyone is telling the stories that they find super amazing because it marked them, and mine are negative. But being pessimistic or optimistic isn't something that's permanent. There are plenty of people who have been through a lot of traumatizing moments in their lives, and they can still be the kind of person that lights up a room when they enter it, so it's not permanent. In order to approach optimism and being able to change into being a more optimistic person, you have to understand the habits of thinking. Now, this is one of the prettiest metaphors that I've ever heard of when it comes to how the brain works. So I'll be using the same metaphor. Imagine your whole brain is a forest, like completely untamed and untouched by humans. Now, that is your brain as a kid before being influenced by any kind of events that happen in your life and the way you react to them. Now, imagine you're going on a walk through the forest. Any kind of pathway you want, you're going on a walk across the forest. That walk that you just took was actually a thought. And just for the purpose of this example, let's say that was actually a pessimistic thought. So that little trip that you just took has basically created a small little trail in that wild forest. You stepped on the grass and everything, and there's still like a faint little trail. Now, throughout the next year, you're gonna have like, let's say 50 or maybe let's say 1,000 pessimistic thoughts. As we all know, the brain wants to be super efficient and super fast. The brain doesn't care for trying out new pathways. The brain cares about going exactly what it's needed as quick as possible. So all those pessimistic thoughts that happen in the following year will walk on the same little path that you just took. And that little trail that was just a few footsteps is now basically a full-on street. And this is how thinking habits actually start to appear. Next time a pessimist drops their coffee, well, why would they struggle to find another way to cross the forest when they could just go through the trail that was already treaded? Why would a pessimist say, oh, well, I hope the floor liked the coffee, when they could just assume that life is miserable, right? So this is it pretty much in hopefully a short time what pessimism and optimism are. And I feel like it's pretty obvious why one would prefer to be an optimist. You're overall happier, you're more resistant to stress, you're healthier, and you're also much more mentally stronger and resilient. Theory is wonderful and great, and it's really easy to go through theory when you're not actually making a change. So how would one, like me, take steps towards changing all those negative thinking patterns and becoming more optimistic? I have done my research, so you don't have to in case you're lazy. And here's what sounded the best to me and also what I will be doing in order to hopefully become much more optimistic. Number one is paying attention to your thoughts, which is what I've been doing a lot lately. acknowledging the problem is the first step towards actually solving a problem. If we pay close attention to what we're thinking and also what we're saying, it becomes super easy to notice where there's a repetition. Because I feel like every pessimist, although it's like a general pessimism, there's always something that keeps repeating. So whatever that is, once you actually start noticing it, you're kind of becoming much more self-aware and somehow self-conscious, as in the moment you're about to say it again, you're like, oh
shit, here we go again.
And paying attention to your thoughts and noticing the repetitions also takes me to the next point. The second thing is creating positive mantras. I'm saying mantras because it's kind of the best way to describe what I'm talking about. So if a pessimist is actually repeating bad stuff, we're basically going to force the pessimist to repeat good stuff. So in my case, for example, I have told plenty of times all my coworkers and friends multiple times that I am extremely unlucky. I say pretty much almost every day that I am so unlucky. I am pretty much sure that there's like a curse on me or something, and that I'm never going to be able to achieve anything in life because I'm unlucky. So as I said, I have noticed that I have this is the repetition that I have. As a positive mantra, I will try to tell myself and maybe others as well that I'm actually lucky, although I might not believe it. So also as a visual mantra, I have created myself a bracelet that actually says lucky, that I'm going to be wearing daily. I know it might seem cringy for a lot of people, but in the past year I have actually created bracelets for myself with things that I want to achieve or things that I want to start believing in more, and they have actually helped me. So you can laugh about my childish bracelets, but they actually work for me. The third thing on the list is actually focusing on the good. Remember how I said that pessimists find it really easy to focus on the bad? Well, I will force myself out of that habit by actually forcing myself to focus on the good, because after all, this is all about self-discipline. I cannot change the past. I can only change how I feel about it, but I can actually make the present day and the future a little bit brighter in my head. You might have already heard about gratitude journals. It's about basically writing every day 3 things that you are grateful for, whether it's having a roof above your head or going to sleep with your loved one or ordering your favorite food or even winning the lottery. And then regarding the future, I plan every few months to make a list of what I'm excited about. When you're a pessimist, it's super easy to feel like the future seems boring and bland and there's nothing to look forward to. But I feel like if you really try hard enough, there's always gonna be at least something small and stupid to be excited about in the future. Even in the darkest of times, I feel like there has to be something, maybe something extremely stupid and small, but there is still something to be excited about, and that's how you actually make the future be a little bit more optimistic and brighter, in my opinion. The fourth thing is to focus on the solution, not the problem. The worries and the scenarios that a pessimist builds in their own head can actually spread incredibly fast. And that is because the mind is dealing with a lot of external factors and things it doesn't know and a lot of what ifs. When I focus on the problem, it just becomes so easy for me to keep focusing on everything that could go wrong and all the repercussions that the thing that just happened could have on my life or other people's lives. I believe focusing on the solution makes you more optimistic, because instead of dwelling and worrying excessively, you are actually taking action and fixing something. You are making stuff better and you are actually allowing yourself to move on instead of just being trapped into, oh my god, what just happened? And also, of course, focusing on the solution keeps you going, because instead of just feeling like you are permanently drowning in problems, you're actually just solving a lot of issues. It's just like, how many quests can you complete, instead of, oh, how big can the list get? Yes, I have a script because it's a lot of stuff to go through in just one video, and to be fair, I hope it's not going to be too long. Anyway, number 5 is fake it till you make it, which is what I'm actually doing right now. Fake it till you make it actually works because you can make your brain believe anything you want it to believe if you just keep repeating it yourself. All the people that are telling themselves every day how stupid and ugly they are, they end up feeling stupid and ugly. So if you want to start feeling like an optimist, just, act like an optimist. Force your brain into actually acting like an optimist because it's just gonna feel natural to live the lie that you have created for yourself. Here I am, a pessimist, making a video about optimism while trying to be optimistic about my future, because in the end with this video, yes, I want to make someone's day better, but it's also about introspection and making my own day better and understanding what's happening in my mind and how to become a better version of myself. So it's kind of supposed to be a win-win situation for both of us, or all of us, if there's like more people in your room watching this video, which makes us more than 2 of us. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Another journey towards becoming a better version of ourselves, or just me becoming a better version of myself. I hope this video wasn't extremely long, and I hope I actually made someone's day better, or made them consider maybe being a little bit more optimistic. Yeah, I have to put my camera down for the outro because I don't know how to do the outro with just one hand. I never actually filmed that outro. Hi. I got braces. That's one thing that I should mention. And this video that you're actually watching right now, well, I actually filmed it almost 4 months ago, and in the past 4 months I've struggled to actually stick to editing it and finishing it, because I often felt like it's stupid for me to work on this video about optimism when I didn't really feel like I'm there. It felt outrageous to me to edit and post a video about optimism when I was actually struggling to become much more optimistic. But it has been 4 months and I have finished editing this video, and it's all wrapped up and it's posted. And this is basically my way of saying that it's been 4 months, but I have actually gotten much better, and I am so happy about that. So yeah, the outro, because this is what I'm actually here for. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for being here. I hope you get a little bit of optimism in your day-to-day, and maybe a little bit of motivation to be a little bit more optimistic in the following days, or at least just for today. And I'll see you guys next time, whenever that may be, and whatever the next video might be about. Thank you guys. Bye. Bom Big Stalk.